the future of wearable tech. What do you think that might be? Glasses, maybe? Something you put on your ear, maybe? Wrist? Watch, maybe? I don't know. Could be a combination of all three, but a couple companies, notably very few of them, are saying that it could be a hearing aid. Now, this was brought to my attention earlier today. A reader wrote in via email, and he said, any information on when and where these Mars earbuds will be available for sale? Thanks. Apparently last year, well, not apparently, last year we had covered the Mars earbuds simultaneous person-to-person translation winning big at CES 2018. We had heard then that the rumor was they'll be unveiling it more in terms of pricing and when it'll be out to order near the end of 2018. Haven't heard anything yet. No clue what's going on. All we know is that companies throw out these great ideas. Keep in mind, at CES, a lot of companies use CES as the platform to gauge kind of the market reply, and if they don't get the reply they want, they'll usually just go, I don't think we'll do that. But if it's something that they want and they're actually in production to do it, you can guarantee that it'll, well, especially for the bigger companies, you can guarantee that it'll be coming out in short order. So, not to mention that some things unveiled at certain events don't really wind up to be what they are promised to be, but, well, might be just a hearing aid. And we'll be taking a look here really quick. We won't be going through this whole article. We'll be looking at a couple of the highlights. So when Brandon Swallich started Starkey Hearing Technologies in suburban Minneapolis, he was 19, and there were about 70 companies worldwide making hearing aids. Now, if you're like, Taylor, what are you talking about hearing aids for? Well, just listen. You might glean some interesting information off of this. That was back in 1994. His job was to clean the ones mailed in for repair or occasionally as returns because the user was dead and no longer needed them. Today, Swallich is 43. There are 5 companies, and he's president of Starkey, which employs 6,000 people and sold 800 million in hearing aids last year. We've been right here in Eden Prairie since 1974. He says, as I guess the author is getting a tour of the company headquarters, then corrects himself. Technically, it started a few years before that in the basement of Mr. Austin's home. It's one of those great entrepreneurial American success stories. Swallich moved from a waxy build to events to sales to finally president, the company's top position, which he assumed in 2016 in the wake of a fraud scandal that rocked Starkey. He's also stepson of the aforementioned Mr. Austin, the William Austin, billionaire company founder who built Starkey into a privately held Goliath and has made hearing aids for seemingly every famous person who requires them, including 4 U.S. presidents, 2 popes, Nelson Mandela, and Mother Teresa. Starkey is now the only one of the surviving Big 5 manufacturers based in the U.S. What's thinned the herd of competitors, he says, is technology. Hearing aids used to be relatively simple, inexpensive to make, and not hugely different from brand to brand. Today, they're an increasingly complex digital product requiring teams of engineers and a robust investment in research and development. A thin, barely visible wire curls over the top of each of his ears and vanishes into the canals where an earpiece the size of a marker tip delivers sound. These are real, he says. I do have some minor hearing loss, and he says it's from loud music and shooting guns in his youth. He's also wearing these thin, barely visible aids because they're the company's latest and greatest development. The reason 300 of America's top audiologists will arrive in 2 days' time at this building via red carpet while stunning a gauntlet of whooping and clapping employees. So what's interesting about that, Swallich is fond of saying that Starkey makes a product that nobody wants. Almost 2/3 of the people in America who need hearing aids don't have them, and those who do accept their fate and wait an average of 7 years from the first symptom before seeking help. With these, hearing aids are going to evolve, he says, so that you don't have to have hearing loss to want a hearing aid. Now you read or heard or watched that correctly. Starkey is now pitching the world a hearing aid for people who don't need hearing aids. Swallich pulls out an iPhone of his jacket pocket and opens an app called Thrive, built to accompany this paradigm shift of a product. The Livio AI, as this new device is called, uses tiny sensors plus, as its name suggests, artificial intelligence to selectively filter noise and focus on specific sound sources. For instance, the person across the table in a busy restaurant, while also tracking various health metrics, including steps walked, stairs climbed, and cognitive activity, such as how much the wearer is talking and engaging with other humans, it also does near instantaneous translation of 27 languages and will, after a forthcoming update, measure heart rate,